For more Did You Know, find us on the web or like us on Facebook.
It's been said a million times, there's nothing in the world more important than family. We understand that at Oberlin Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory. Our entire staff is like family to us. They are some of the most caring, thoughtful, and dedicated people in our industry. In fact, our newest members are part of my family. When the time comes for your family to say goodbye, remember our family, Oberlin Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, in Bryan, Sherwood, West Unity, and Hamilton.
That's interesting. Okay, you ready? We still got Northwest State. So we got athletic boosters after this on Northwest State.
They say there is strength in numbers. In Bryan, we have always taken pride in supporting our Golden Bear student athletes in all of their sporting endeavors. The Bryan Athletic Boosters now have a chance for you to get into the game. If you're Bryan proud, it's time to become Bryan strong. Whether you were a BHS athlete, are raising a BHS athlete, or just love supporting our Bryan High School athlete, this is your chance to be part of the BHS sporting community. Talk to any board member today on how easy it is to join, or contact us at 419-636-4536.
Looking for career opportunities? They're closer than you think. Northwest State has more than 70 degree and certificate programs, so you can start on the path to a rewarding career, or take your existing skills to a whole new level. Your future is knocking. What are you waiting for? Opportunities await at Northwest State Community College. Find out more at northweststate.edu.
Halftime here at Golden Bears Stadium. Chris Malenga and Jim Funderburg along with you. It's 14-all. Bryan and Van Wert, thanks for joining us on BryanSports.com and BMU Channel 3. And Jim, let's bring the third member of our broadcast team into it. Chris Bryce is down here. He's got to look at what's going on around the league and the rest of the Northwest Ohio tonight. Chris.
Thank you, Chris. Let's hit some scores around Northwest Ohio. First off, we got Archbold over Hicksville, 20-0. It's Delta over Toledo Christian, 27-12, and that's at half. At halftime also, it's Evergreen 7, Otsego 7. Tenora 25, Liberty Center 0, that's at half. It's Patrick Henry 8, Edgerton 13, that's at half. Swanton's beating Ottawa Hills 30-0 at halftime. It's Fairview getting stomped by Wasion 35-7. That's also at half. And Clyde, Tiffin Columbian is still tied 0-0 at half. Northwood is getting beat by Ayersville 21-0 at half. And Montpelier is getting beat by Lake 34-0. And that was a second quarter score. And we have 14-14 here between the Bryan and Van Wert. Back up to you, Chris.
Chris,
right.
I'll tell you what, that's got to make you a little bit unhappy there with the Montpelier score, Chris Bryce. Bryce, for anybody that's listening out there on the stream right now, Mr. Bryce is actually an old railroader up there, man, loco guy.
Oh, is he?
Lived by the tracks, died by the tracks. All-state, he'll tell you a story, about him being like all-state, defensive tackle and all that stuff. Is Bryce in there? Chris, you around here?
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm trying to build your reputation up here a little bit, so sit back and allow me to establish you as this big, idyllic type of figure that we brought in here to take over for Zach Hazlett, because it takes that kind of a persona to be able to replace Zach Hazlett on a Friday night, doesn't it, Chris?
It absolutely does. It absolutely does.
So, Bryce, just let me, to build you up here a little bit. Chris is 6'7". He's a chiseled 285. Okay. And I saw him down doing a lot of squats and some lunge thrusts with the coach right before the game. All right, Bryce?
Well, let me put this piece of pizza down, and I'll let you know.
It is halftime. Both teams out on the field right
Thanks,
now,
Chris.
getting loosened up for the third quarter. And we're going to have a lot of fun with Chris Bryce this year, as you can tell, as we always do on a Friday night. This ball game is deadlocked at 14. Talking a little bit to the Van Wert guys in the halftime while the bands were playing and everything, Chris, and I think they are a little bit shocked, but you know what? They have the same attitude and opinion that we talked about at the beginning of this ball game, and that is there were some lofty goals put on this team to begin with here this year. They got a lot of seniors, but as I was talking to the announcers there from Van Wert, these guys have not really won any games. I mean, they won 3 last year, and they won 1 the year before, and 1 the year before that. So 5 total in their 4 years, and they're off to a 14-14 tie with a Bryan team this year that's very, very young.
Yeah, you know, they're huge, you know, and you see that in the hurries that they're making Creek come up with, quick getting to Belts. I mean, Belts only has, let's see, he's got how many total yards? He's got 44 yards, but that's, you know, 23 of those came on 1 carry. So, you know, his other big carry is 9 yards, but he's got 1 and 1 and 2 and then -2 and 1. So, I mean, it's the going is tough tonight.
It is.
And it's the big plays that are keeping the scoring. You know, the first play was an 81-yard touchdown reception, you know, with 8:19 in the, you know, a scoreless first quarter in the Van Wert Bryan game is something that doesn't usually happen that often. And then the second one was also set up by a long pass to Jones. I mean, that one was set up, the pass was, 81-yard pass to Jones set that up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's the big play that's doing that. And you would have thought that'd be the Golden Bears team of old, not the Golden Bears team that's going to run rough up the middle, you know?
Exactly. No, you're exactly right. Well, the description of this power spread that the coach describes it as is we're going to punch you in the mouth, punch you in the mouth, punch you in the mouth, then throw it over your head when you're not looking. So they have done that a little bit here so far tonight. That along with the block punt then by David Rummel that set the Bears in business deep into Van Wert territory, and then just 3 plays after that they punched that in after a big first down run after picking up the ball in the 25. It has been a very interesting first half. Bears will go on defense to start everything up here tonight as the Van Wert will have the football as the Bears actually won the opening coin toss and took the ball to start this ball game up here tonight. So we're getting close to kicking this thing off here tonight in the second half, and we're looking forward to an awful lot of action here in the second half, and it's nice to have you with us out here on BMU TV tonight, even though tonight we're doing it without the pictures. Obviously, tonight with the home game, we're going to play this back at 11 o'clock, starting tonight 11 o'clock on BMU Channel 3. So that's something a little bit unusual. If you are in Bryan here tonight, you can tune this in at 11 and watch the replay of this football game. If you're heading towards one of the clubs around town, the Eagles or the Moose or whatever, they're going to have the ball game on there. If they don't, you can ask, and they'll turn that over to Channel 3 so you can watch this ball game here, the entire replay tonight starting at 11 o'clock, and then again tomorrow night at 7. On road games this year, we will play things back as we always have. They will debut on Saturday nights at 7 o'clock. On home games, we will debut them at 11 o'clock on Channel 3 the night of the game. And that all comes back with the Ohio High School Athletic Association not allowing us to do anything live here on a Friday night. So unusual thing, though, Chris, that Ian and I were talking about, and this never made any sense. The game last night between Napoleon and Defiant, since it's Thursday night, that could be live on TV.
Yeah, it can be live.
It
doesn't make sense. And Saturday night games can be live. So
yeah.
Do want to thank Eric for all his hard work getting this going. I think the YouTube streaming is a definite improvement. We kind of got hosed at the last second, you know, with our provider just going down with no warning. But
Hardman and Kelly are deep, but they're going to kick this one short again, and Tussing will get it on the 25, and the Bears are right there to spank him at the 33-yard line. Good job by the Golden Bears to get up that football field and knock him down. And I'm telling you, the first guy down there was, number 30, and I'm not showing a 30 on our roster right now. So whoever 30 is was the first young man to come down and collide. And the Bears, that was the one thing that they talked about. They are going to be physical this year. We're not the biggest team that you're going to see, but we're going to get out and hit some people, and we're doing a good job of it here tonight. Again, Royster on one end for the Bears, Taylor on the other end for the Bears, and Brent Hall in the middle at the nose. Bears have Wagner, Harold, Rummel, and Garza at the linebacker spots, and along with Lucas Nye. Smith will take the ball. He'll give the ball to this big running back. Tussing has some running room. He put it into the middle of the line, then kicked it out around the end, and he'll be close to the midfield stripe by the time the Bears knock him down, give him about 16 yards. And Tussing looked like he was going to run into a pile, but was able to backpedal a step and get around the corner for a nice pickup on first down.
Yeah, nice job by Tussing. Get around that corner and take the big hit right at the sideline at the 50.
Slot man to the right, 2 wide receivers to the top. Wide receiver to the bottom for Van Wert right now. Direct snap goes to Tussing, and Tussing will get across the midfield stripe and into Golden Bear territory by a yard or so, give him about 2. I'm not sure whether that was snapped to him or whether it was just a bad snap and he alertly scooped that one up, but both he and Smith were heading towards the middle of that line to start with, and it looked like both were grabbing for the football. Tussing came up with it. Short pickup of about 2 as we open things up here in the third quarter. Smith will roll to his right. He's got a wide open receiver at the 40 and a completion, and that receiver breaks a tackle and was inside the 30 and down to about the 29-yard line. That's Brown, Josh Brown, with a pickup for the first down.
Pickup of 19.
19 yards on the catch. Brown just basically went out, did a little in route on the flat down around the 35, and Smith was right there with the football as he made his turn. First down and 10.
It's the first catch by Braun today.
Hand off to Tussing, and he is tripped up in the backfield. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but the Bears with a decent push in the middle of that line, and Tussing gets tripped up for a very short gain. In fact, they'll say he lost about a foot. Bears have Adam Harold, and Harold was the young man that was applying the pressure on that one. Second down and 10. Harold at the line of scrimmage. They hand the ball off to Tussing again. He breaks in the middle of the line. Now he's wide open. Up the right sideline, dives for the goal line, and he's in.
Yep.
Tussing on the belly play just got up the middle and then was able to cut it up to the visitor's sideline, and there were just no purple shirts along that sideline to slow him down until he got to the end zone, and he was able to reach out and cross the goal line with the ball. And it is a touchdown on the first drive here in the third quarter for the Van Wert Cougars. Gardner will come on for the extra point as Van Wert now takes a 20-14 lead. Snap is good, spot was good, Bears all over it, but the ball got through the uprights for the extra point, and it's now 21-14 Van Wert here on BMU TV.
Ohio is home to the ultimate football machine. Tompkinson BMW, located less than an hour away from us in Fort Wayne, Indiana, is the home of the ultimate driving machine, BMW. All teams have to rebuild, and right now Tompkinson is rebuilding their entire new car showroom to make sure all of our guests have a world-class facility to match the award-winning customer service we offer to all of our new and used car customers. Whether it's a brand new BMW, certified pre-owned, or any of the huge selection of new and used cars, trucks, and vans, we promise to give you the same dedication to a great buying experience that the Golden Bears give you every Friday night. With a very convenient location in the 1469 Auto Mall, be sure and stop by to see how easy and fun Tompkinson can make each and every purchase. Call today and speak with our great staff of certified client advisors and schedule a time to test drive any of the fine products we have to offer. The direct phone line is 260-436-9000 or shop online at tompkinsonbmw.com.
Back here at Golden Bear Stadium as the Bears get ready to return this kick. It'll be Color that will field it at the 5. He's out across the 15, tripped up and falls across the 20 to about the 22-yard line, and the Bears will have the football first and 10 for their first opportunity here in the third quarter. Van Wert did a nice job with their possession, Chris. They took that football right down the field and knocked in that first touchdown. So their coach, Coach Retcher, probably a pretty happy guy. Record of a very happy fella, I'm sure, to get that first score of the second half.
Yeah, anytime you can get things going, right out of the gate, that's always a good thing.
Push Jim's mic into his mouth.
Blues Creek will be the quarterback again, and right behind him, Damon Belts. They've got 3 bunched here on the home side and 1 wide on the top side, and they will run behind that punch as Damon Belts will get a couple around the right end. Second down and about 8 now for the Bears. Bears with a kind of a different look this year. So accustomed to those 5 wide, 4 wide looks. Everything nowadays is always has an H-back, always has a slot back, a little more power look to that. So if they go 4 wide, they'll have 2 slot receivers and then 2 wide receivers this year. And in numerous cases, they'll go like they are right now with an H-back, and he will be on the right side of the line. 2 wide receivers here on the home side and a single wide out on the top. Pistol look again here for the Bears. Fake the ball to Belts, and Creek will hold it and wish he gave it to Belts, as he will be knocked down for a loss back at the 20-yard line. That was Caleb Fetzer that got in around the right end from his corner spot to make the tackle on Blues Creek in the backfield. Creek's got, I'll tell you what, Creek is just getting his exercise coming to the sideline after every play, coming over here talking to Coach Redhead. 3rd down now and 9 after the loss of about a yard there for Blues Creek. Clock has run down under 9 minutes here for the Bears, who really don't want to give this ball back right now to Van Wert. Color was split out wide. He comes back into the slot. Pass goes to Belts on the screen pass, and he's out across the 30-yard line. In fact, they'll say he stepped out of bounds just before the 30, and that'll leave the Bears about 2 yards shy of the first down that they need.
Pickup of about 8.
So 4th down, and the Bears are going to have to kick this thing away. Josh Jones will come on, and Ryan Stoller, kind of Mr. Everything, will drop back deep. In fact, another thing that we got in halftime is that really Stoller is the young man off of this team that all the colleges are looking at. Young man who could probably fit into numerous positions on this next level. Jones' kick is high and short. It'll bounce on the Van Wert 45 and roll down dead at about the 43-yard line. And that's where Van Wert will have the football as they get ready to go for the second time here in this 3rd quarter. 7:55 to go in the 3rd quarter. The Bears trail by 7 points now after that opening drive by Van Wert, 21-14.
It's a good punt.
See whether the Bears defense can get off the field here quickly against this Van Wert football team. Coach Miner now talking to his guys, and I'm not sure that's exactly what he's saying. We've got to get off the field. We really can't get down a couple touchdowns against this football team. We want to keep it to just 1 score. Bears again with 3 down linemen, 5 linebackers, and now they kind of give you that bear look where they've got everybody towards the line of scrimmage. They'll give the ball to Tussing, and Tussing runs into more purple shirts than he was white shirts in the backfield, and he'll lose about a yard, and did a nice job just to get away from a couple of guys that were ready to drop him for about a 4-yard loss. Rumble, the first guy back there in the backfield. Several different guys around him over there that were able to knock him down. Got almost the line of down now and 10. Snap goes to Smith. He'll roll right. Throw to the flat. He's got his complete inside the 45-yard line for the first down to Gutierrez. And Gutierrez
Pickup of 16.
Gets enough to move the chains.
Wow.
And Van Wert just like that on
They
that
are moving
rollout
it, man.
and the pitch and catch. Have this drive going again.
29 yards for Gutierrez.
Single running back again, high snap, bad handoff, but the play will net a positive 3 or 4 yards as that ball snapped way up in the air. Smith able to go up and get it, and then still get it in the belly of Justice Tussing, and the line of scrimmage was moving forward. When Tussing got there, he was already 2 yards down the field, so it's 2nd down now and 7. Bears defense now going to have to really bow their backs and get tough here against this Van Wert Cougar team. Tussing again to the left side, slot back on the right side with a pair of receivers to the top. Again, handoff to Tussing. He'll try right side, and again, good room. He'll be close to another first down as he crosses the 35, and he's close to the 33-yard line.
Pickup of 5.
Here for Van Wert. And all of a sudden, Coach Recker says, you know what, maybe we go to our strength and we just run behind these big guys in a high Tussing, and Tussing with the first down as they cross the 30.
Pick up 2 on that for the first down.
You know, we talked, Chris, and you pointed out at the beginning of the game that they lost their center, and you can kind of tell it.
Yeah.
These snaps have been everywhere tonight.
Yes, they have.
Smith's been able to corral him kind of like a shortstop and then be able to get him to a running back. But, boy, that ball's been all over the place when it comes from between the legs of that center here this evening. 1st and 10. Smith fakes. Now he'll throw the ball, and this will be incomplete down the center of the field around the 12-yard line. Van Wert, I think, wanted a little contact down the field, but that ball thrown really away from everybody. Good coverage in the secondary by the Bears to be able to.
Smith now 7 for 10 for 63 yards.
Again, last year Smith threw for about 900 yards on the season. Only completing 43%. So how many tonight does he have right now, Chris?
7 for, let me see.
Snap is low again. He'll give the ball to Tussing, and Tussing will be knocked down for a loss of a couple.
7 for 10.
7 for 10, so he's hitting 70% tonight, well above his average from last year. But again, another horrible snap. Smith was able to pick this one up off the grass, and by the time he got it into Tussing's arm, the Bears had penetrated the line of scrimmage and knocked him down for a loss of 1. 3rd down, now 11. Single back in the backfield again. Wide receiver in the slot, and we have a flag as the jumped a little bit early on that line of scrimmage. So instead of 3rd down and 11, it's going to be 3rd down and 6. A much easier situation now for the Van Wert Cougars. Williams, Gutierrez, and Hardman, the wide receivers here on our side. As they'll put Williams in the slot.
Ball is at the Bryan 26. 3rd down and 6.
A little over 5 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Smith in the backfield. They'll hand it to Tussing. Tussing hit immediately and dropped after he gets maybe a half a yard.
I don't know if he got anything, Jim. Look at it. Right, look where the stick is.
Yeah, Christian Riddle was the first guy through that line of scrimmage that put the helmet on him. And then several Bears right there. And I think you're right, Chris. No gain. 4th down and 6 for Van Wert. Not really an option to punt, and a field goal from here would be somewhere in the neighborhood of 46 yards. So Van Wert will go for it on 4th down. Trips again on the home side. Bad snap again. Smith looking to throw. Throws it over everybody's head on the out, and the Bears defense comes up strong as the Cougars will turn the ball over on downs.
Good play there. Good coverage by the Golden Bears.
So the Bears get the football back with 4:21 to play here in the 3rd quarter, trailing by a touchdown. A little bit of last year's game where Van Wert really had control of the game most of the night. Had opportunities to score several times, but the Bears defense came up strong. And at the very end, the Bears able to drive that ball down the field and pull that 18-14 win out down in Van Wert last season. So the Bears now with the football on the 26-yard line. Their own 26. Creek again to the backfield with Belts. He's got doubles on both sides. More of a traditional look now for the Golden Bears with the 2 slot receivers and the 2 wideouts. And Blue's going to throw it. Intercepted to the 20, 15, touchdown. That's going to be Evan Williams, who saw it coming all the way. Stayed in front of the little screen pass that was going down into the flat and just rambled his way into the end zone for the 6. Blues Creek didn't see him. Williams saw it all the way, and once Williams got it, there was nothing but green grass and white lines all the way down to the goal line. So just like that, it's 27-14.
Wow, wow, wow.
Well, the one thing that Blue's going to have to do is basically look some people off. He was looking at that slot receiver the whole way, and Williams saw it coming, was able to make a great break on the ball, and at that point in time, there was really no stopping him. There wasn't a Golden Bear within 5 yards of him by the time he caught that football. Extra point is good by Gardner, and just like that, it's 28-14. Bears trail. TV.
You want 1 or 2, Chris?
West Unity, and Hamilton.
I don't know what it is. Nope.
Back out at Golden Bear Stadium, Van Wert just went up 28-14 here on BMU TV. Chris Malenga, Jim Funderburg, and that wasn't a good one.
No.
2 touchdowns on interception returns.
2 interceptions tonight. One went, 85, and that one went about, 25, 21?
25.
25. Deep kick will drive color into the end zone, and the ball will come out to the 20. And the Golden Bears now have to just shake off that interception for a touchdown and try to put things back together here again on that offensive side. Colt Arthur in the game along with Cuba and Color. Jordan Armstrong, the tight end, and now Blues Creek trots into onto the field of play. You know, Blues kind of came out of nowhere last year against Swanton, Chris, if you remember when Dean went down and Blues came in. Played a great second half. The junior, I think, has some things going on right now, and we're going to see him get better as the year goes on. But again, going to have to get those game legs on a Friday night. Handoff goes to Bells, and Bells has some room as the trap play opens up a nice hole across the 25 to about the 27-yard line. Maybe they'll go back to bread and butter right now and see if they can't open up some running lanes.
Yeah, Belts did a nice job there, making the cut through the hole and just being patient.
Bears do need to put something together right now and answer one of these scores. They really can't afford to get down any more than 2 touchdowns here on opening night. 3:45 to play, third quarter. 28-14. Van Wert on top if you're just joining us. Handoff Bells, who will sweep left end. And the blocking collapses on him, and he's going to lose a couple to about the 25-yard line.
Actually, lose 3.
Williams with the tackle to slow everything down.
Bells now with 51 yards on 13 carries.
Third down now, and make it about 6 now for the Bears. Give them a long 5 since we're the hometown announcing crowd, but either way, they've got to get out to the 30-yard line, and that ball's sitting right around the 25, just shy of the 25 right now. Pistol look again. Snap goes back. Blues rolls towards his right. Now he throws across the middle of the field, and that one's going to be picked off too. 45-yard line and still running right now is Keegan Hardman up the sideline. 20, 10, 5, touchdown. 3 touchdowns returned tonight on interceptions.
Wow.
And I'll tell you, that was just a poor toss there by Blues Creek. And he's got his head down, coming over to talk to the coach a little bit. And coach not going to be real happy to see him right now because that one was thrown right to Keegan Hardman. Blues going to have to learn on a Friday night every now and then, as the old Kenny Rogers said, know when to fold them, hold them and fold them. That would have been a good idea right there. Through again. Hey, well, I'll tell you what. You've got to give Williams credit for the second interception, but the first one and the third one right there were really poor decisions by Blues to be able to throw into four-man coverage, basically.
And there was 4-man. I didn't even see who made the interception because there was so many people.
It was terrible. So the extra point is good, and it's just like 35. And the Golden Bears now can pull out the magic. Well, it's time for a little magic. 2:45. Keep it right here.
Who did return that, Jim?
Oh, that was Keegan Hardman.
Okay.
Ball game being brought to you tonight by Whelan's Automotive, the dealership quality and aftermarket pricing, by Tompkinson BMW, home of the ultimate driving machine. By the Plaza Motel, your home away from home. And don't forget to like us on Facebook. Oberlin Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, all types of service and all types of people. Northwest State Community College, helping you take that next step to a new job or a new career. Genesis Healthcare, Bryan Center, where your friends, your family, and your neighbors. Bryan Municipal Utilities, your local cable and high-speed internet provider. Bryan Ford Lincoln, we're just down the road from high prices. And the Bryan Athletic Boosters, always backing our athletes. Good luck, Bears, all season long. And don't forget, Bryan Strong, you can go up and become basically a supporter of the Bryan Athletic Boosters. There's all kinds of shirts and sweatshirts and swag out there for a slight donation. You can wear your Bryan Strong gear out to the ball games on Friday night. So let's see if the Bears can right the ship here. Now down by 21, 35-14.
Third quarter has not been kind.
Color grabs it at the 2, comes right up the center of the field. He's across the 25 and still on his feet at the 30. On his feet at the 35, but he's wearing a couple of Van Wert Cougars as a coat, and he goes down right there, first down and 10, Golden Bears, as we have 2.5 minutes left to play here in the third quarter.
21 points in the third quarter for Van Wert.
Yeah, and I tell you, you don't mind necessarily if they score on you on the offensive side, but boy, when you're starting to give up 3 touchdowns through interceptions that are returned, I'm sure Coach Redhead is going to have a number of things to chat about this week when he watches the game film that one. And next week, things get even more difficult as we go on the road. We have movement and a flag. Offsides on the Bears or movement on the Bears or offside on Van Wert. Which way is it going to go?
Offsides on Van Wert.
Looked like the left end moved, but he was pointing at one of the interior linemen as if maybe they flinched somehow. The line judge didn't see it quite that way. That'll be 5 yards to the positive for the Bears, and the ball will sit at the 40-yard line. First down now and 5 for the Golden Bears. Bunched up with the tight ends on this line of scrimmage right now. They'll go to the run game, and Damon Belts will be met at the line of scrimmage, but he'll be able to lean forward for a yard. And it'll be second down now and 4. Fetzer makes the stop. Rittenhouse checks in, and Belts will take a trot to the sideline.
Bryan led this game 14-7 late in the first half.
It's 14 all at halftime. In the third quarter, it has just been a difficult second half so far for the Golden Bears as they have watched Van Wert score 21 points here in this third quarter. And we're right at the 2-minute mark here of this third period. Handoff goes to Rittenhouse. He'll try left end. He'll get enough for the first down as he rumbles his way out to the 45-yard line. Ball will be placed just on the Van Wert side of that 45, and it'll be first down, Golden Bears. I like what I've seen so far tonight out of Rittenhouse, too, Chris, you know.
He's got 14 yards on 4 carries right now.
Nothing flashy, but, you know, Damon Bells can't play out there every play.
Right,
he's going to have a little bit of a rest here and there. And a good job there by Rittenhouse to come in and pick up the first down. First down and 10. Bears maybe trying to turn the momentum back their way as we head towards this fourth quarter. Rittenhouse lost the handles, but he was able to pull it back in and then scoot through what appeared to be no hole on the left side for a couple of yards. Give him 2 to the 47. Clock under a minute and a half to play in the third quarter.
1:20 to go in the third quarter. 35-14. Van Wert with the lead on the Golden Bears.
Coach Redhead talking to Blues Creek, and now he sends Blues back in. And I'll tell you, Blues is going to be in great shape before the season's over, Chris, because he jogs over to the sideline after every play and jogs back out to the huddle.
It's only 25 seconds, too.
Bears have an H-back on the right side. Creek will roll that way. Looking downfield, we've got a handkerchief in the air. Creek decides to keep it, cut it back to the opposite side. He's at midfield, and he goes down just on the other side of the 50. We had a penalty flag thrown at number 54, Nolan Smith, as Smith was trailing the play, and Smith actually pounded it back down to the ground.
The penalty's going to be on us.
Holding call will be against the guy, I think, that was holding Smith, and that might have been the reason why he was a little upset. And the holding call will negate about a 3-yard pickup by Blues Creek and send this ball marching back into Golden Bear territory as they will walk all the way back to the 25-yard line. 43.8 seconds left in this third quarter. As we talked about, Chris, this could be a very interesting and long year of transition for the Golden Bears. Will be a interesting year to watch this team grow up. Screen pass set up nicely. Rittenhouse has it at the 40, 45, close to the midfield stripe. So he got almost that entire penalty back. And again, took advantage of a Van Wert aggressive front four and also linebacker who were really intent on trying to get to Blues Creek and make his night a little bit worse. Blues able to dump it over the top of their heads for the screen pass. And it'll be third down now and about 8. And the Bears will allow that clock to run out. So that'll do it for 3 here at Golden Bear Stadium. The Cougars on top of the Bears 35-14 here on BMU TV.
Strength in numbers. In Bryan, we have always taken pride in supporting our Golden Bear student athletes in all of their sporting endeavors. The Bryan Athletic Boosters now have a chance for you to get into the game. If you're Bryan proud, it's time to become Bryan strong. Whether you were a BHS athlete, are raising a BHS athlete, or just love supporting our Bryan High School athlete, this is your chance to be part of the BHS sporting community. Talk to any board member today on how easy it is to join, or contact us at 419-636-4536.
Back here at Golden Bear Stadium, Jim and Chris on a Friday night. We're heading towards the fourth and final stanza here tonight on a Friday night. Good to have you out there if you're on the stream. Can I tell you, I don't know whether Hug's still out there or not, but I got to tell you, we could use you up here tonight.
Hey,
Guys,
let's check out some third quarter scores real quick.
Why don't we do that?
All right.
How about Chris? You down there with some scores for us, buddy?
Yeah, I got some third quarter scores here, Jim. Looks like we got Hicksville getting beat by Archbold 27-7. It's Delta over Toledo Christian 35-12. Evergreen over Otsego. Otsego over Evergreen's 10-7. Tenora over Liberty Center 31-0. Patrick Henry is getting beat by Edgerton 14-13. And it's Swanton over Ottawa Hills 37-0. Wasion over Fairview 42-7. And it looks like Lake is beating Montpelier 47-0. And our score here is 35-14 with 11:33 to go here in the third. Or the fourth, certainly.
Blues Creek rolled to his right and ran into an awful lot of trouble. And he'll lose a half a dozen all the way back to about the 40-yard line. And the Bears will have to kick this thing away. Just the one thing they really didn't want to do is Jones picks up a low snap and kicks a nice high kick down the field. Stuller fields it at the 30-yard line, advances it out to about the 35-yard line, and that will be where Van Wert will open up shop here with 11:09 to play in this football game.
Wow.
35-14. A lot of interesting scores going on. Most of the stuff I think that's going on out there we expected. This one I don't know what I thought coming into the ball game. I was worried about it. I was worried about what Van Wert had going for him this year, and all the hype looks to be pretty real out of this team
absolutely.
here. They look like a football team that's got quite a bit going on here this year, and unfortunately the three big turnovers right now, the difference in this football game. If you just joined us, the Bears have thrown 3 interceptions that have gone back for touchdowns tonight. Smith will hand the ball to Tussing. Tussing goes right up the center. He'll get a yard, maybe 2, before the Bears plant him there on about the 37-yard line. Tussing not a bad running back, but we talked a little bit about some of the running backs that these guys have had in the past, Chris, and I was expecting a little more out of Justin Tussing tonight than what we're seeing here at this point in time. Second down now and 8. Tussing again, the back right to the left side, and he gets the call again. He'll find a hole right up left guard, and he'll get about 5, but there's a laundry in the backfield, and he might have gotten there because somebody was holding in a white jersey. Exactly what it was.
Yep, holding.
Tussing ran into what looked like a pile of purple shirts, and the next thing you know, he came out of that pile unscathed and up the field for about 5 yards. And it was shortly after that there was a yellow hanky deposited right there on the 35-yard line. And with that, the march-off will take the ball back inside the 30 to about the 32-yard line, and will set up second down now and long for Van Wert. 10:28, clock is counting in the fourth quarter. Bears need some magic here of their own on the defensive side. Maybe a defensive score to put a little life back in this ball team. Fake the Tussing, screen pass to the flanker, and he's going nowhere. That's Hardman, who actually made one of the interceptions and ran it back for a touchdown. And Hardman came from his flanker spot, grabbed that little flanker screen, and Sam Culler says, I'll give you 5, and that's about it. We'll knock you down right here at the 33-yard line. Third down now and 12 for Van Wert. Clock down under 10 minutes to play in this opening night ball game. You do have the Bryan crowd making a little bit of noise down on the sideline right now, so It's good to see that they've not really gone to sleep here tonight. Play clock down to 10. Smith's looking to the sideline. Now we're down to 4. Now we've got all kinds of confusion on the Van Wert sideline, and they're going to have to take a timeout. Play clock was down to 1 tick when they took that timeout, so we'll take one with them. 9:29 to go in the ball game. Bears down by 21-35, 14 on BMU TV.
Looking for career opportunities? They're closer than you think. Northwest State has more than 70 degree and certificate programs, so you can start on the path to a rewarding career or transfer your credits toward a bachelor's degree. Your future is knocking. What are you waiting for? Opportunities await at Northwest State Community College. Find out more at northweststate.edu.
Back out
Back
out at Golden Bear Stadium. I wasn't sure that was me. We were going to another one. Boy, Jim, just taking a look at some of the stats right now. 196 total yards for Bryan, 187 for Van Wert. Doesn't seem that way.
Yeah.
A lot of Van Wert stuff came on those,
those pick sixes, man.
Yeah.
You bet.
Can't add anything up. But Bears passing game, I thought, coming into this, we'd have a run battle. But 193 yards of passing from Blues Creek.
Well, he's been very, very good, and he's been very, very bad tonight, and that's what you kind of expect out of a guy on his very first Friday night here in his junior year. Trying to get his sea legs here tonight, and I'm sure he'll do better as the year goes on. 3rd down and a big 12 yards right now. Smith will roll towards the home side, fire this one up in the air. Bears bounce it around but can't pull it down, but it will be incomplete. Just over the 50-yard line.
I'll tell you what, the Bears were getting held tremendously right there.
David Rummel had an opportunity there maybe to pull that one in, but couldn't quite get it done. And again, Corbin Garza with a shot as well. And you're right, the receiver all of a sudden became a big-time wrestler type.
Yeah.
He just started to rip
at the line.
Oh, okay. Incomplete pass will give the Bears the opportunity to get the ball back with 9.5 to go. They have all 3 timeouts, but boy, they're going to have to score in a hurry if they're going to get back into this one here tonight. Corbin Garza goes deep, back around the 25. Kick will be high. Garza will attack it and catch it at the 34-yard line, retreat a little bit. Now he's got the sideline, 40, 45, runs out of room right around the 44-yard line as gets run out of bounds by Evan Williams. Williams, another one of those seniors out there. And another one of those young guys that can add a pick 6 to his resume here tonight. Bears will have pretty good field position, though, at the 45-yard line, and they'll have the ball 1st and 10 with 9:09 to play here in this football game. Now it'll be interesting to see what Coach Redhead's philosophy will be here with a 3-touchdown deficit. We've got one of the Van Wert Cougars being helped off the field right now. That's never good to see. You never like to see that. And let's see if we can get a number for you right now. Watching him go off the sideline, I believe that was an 84 on his back, but I don't have an 84 on here. So I'm not sure exactly what the number was, maybe 64, but we won't guess. Either way, had to have some help getting off with a couple of trainers, and hopefully nothing serious for that young guy. Always hate to see the season end on the opening night of the season for anybody. So everybody's getting a drink of water as we help the player off the sideline. The Bears will now come back out on offense, and they'll have the ball on their 45-yard line, 1st down and 10. And let's see if the Bears can make some things happen now. Color will go out wide to the top. We'll bunch everybody on the left side with a tight end, Armbruster, and a couple of flankers standing side by side on the home side. Belts again in the backfield, and they'll hand it to Damon, and Damon will push forward along with the offensive line for a couple of yards. So give him about 3. And we'll just have to see what Coach will come up with now as this clock becomes now another enemy of the Golden Bears here. 8.5 to play. Clock is ticking here at Golden Bear Stadium. Armbruster goes in motion and then sets in the H-back spot on the right side, and we've got Van Wert Cougars jumping early. And the offsides will give the Bears a free 5-yard pickup and put them into Van Wert territory. And again, Chris, a couple of quick strikes. Early on, we were able to get Josh Jones open on the sidelines in the seam right up the field 15, 20 yards, and then he was able to convert those into some long gains. Haven't seen the ball thrown Jones's way yet here in the second half. Maybe it's his time.
Yeah, Jones has 115 yards on 3 receptions.
Belts will get around the right end for the first down as he crosses the 45-yard line on the power play right. First down will give the ball to the Bears. And they're waiting to move these sticks. I don't know why. There we go. Ball's nose of the ball across the 45-yard line. The chains lined up just right there on the 45, so they've moved those now. Stop the clock with 8:05 to play in the ball game. First down and 10.
And they're taking their sweet time moving the chains.
Bears have had so many problems throwing the ball here tonight with the 3 interceptions, Chris. I think maybe Coach a little bit leery to put that ball in the air again.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
Get back to the bread and butter here a little bit and see if you can get a score, and then at that point in time, maybe you air it out later. But Creek will roll towards the home side. He'll avoid a couple of people. Now he's going to run out of room as he gets back to the line of scrimmage and goes down right on the 45-yard line, looking down the field when nobody open down there, looking for Josh Jones. I knew I was going to throw a Jake out there here before everything was done. Speaking of Jake, I don't know what he's doing, but I do know that talking to John Miner, Brock Miner now is going to school again. He's going to college and not playing football, but I do believe Jake's still playing football. If anybody knows about that, we'll do a little checking this week and maybe get some updates on some of the Golden Bears that are out and playing right now. I know Shimmy is not playing anymore. He's going to school nowadays down at Miami. Blues Creek looked like he wanted to hand something off, and he doesn't, so he has to roll to the right with white jerseys all over him, and he's going to lose ground back across the 50 into Bears territory at about the 47-yard line. And I think that was just a busted play. It looked like Luce was trying to hand that ball off, and the running back wasn't there to take the ball, and the next thing you know, he had to scramble, and that scramble lost him about 7 yards.
If we're going by negative yardage being sacks,
Yes.
he's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 negative plays, rushing plays.
So 6 tackles for loss here tonight. Yeah.
I don't know if you call those all sacks, but
Yeah. Third down and a whole bunch for the Bears. They need about 18 as they've got to get all the way down to the 35-yard line. And again, Blues now in that pistol look with David Belch right behind him. Triples to the bottom side, singles to the top. He'll throw it across the middle and behind his intended receiver, Colt Arthur, and that'll set up fourth down now for the Golden Bears. And the Bears will send their kick team out to boot this thing away. Stoller will go back deep again for Van Wert with 6:09 to play in the football game. Now it will be interesting to see what's going to happen with the rest of the evening, and I would have to believe that it's going to be a lot of ground and pound from here on out.
I think you're right.
On this Van Wert sideline, I would believe. They'll probably not do too much that's going to risk this football. Gutierrez will line up back around the 18-yard line. Fake. Bears snap the ball to Rummel, and Rummel will get back to the line of scrimmage and not much more, and the ball will be turned over now on downs on the fake. Van Wert with some really good field position now as they'll take over on the Golden Bears 47-yard line. Yeah, you can't blame the coach for trying to roll the dice there a little bit, but obviously Van Wert with a 3-touchdown lead, probably not going to buy that fake quite as much as if it were 35-35 right now and a bit of a nail-biter. So we're down to just 6 minutes to play in this football game, and the Bears now look like they're going to go down to defeat here in the opener for the first time in a long time. Chris, we haven't seen an opening night loss for quite a while. The oldest rivalry or the oldest opening game, football game in the state of Ohio between these two. And it looks like Van Wert is finally going to capitalize on one tonight and start out 1-0, and the Bears 0-1. Got a whistle down on the play, and we've got another Van Wert Cougar on the ground. So there's timeout on the field. We might as well take it with them. 5:48 to play in the ball game. Bears down by 21, 35-14 here on BMU TV.
Getting more and more frustrated by the day. Bring your family vehicle to the experts at Whelan's Auto Repair in Bryan.
We properly diagnose the problem and fix it the right way to get your family vehicle safely and securely back on the road. And we stand behind our work because your satisfaction is always guaranteed.
Whelan's Auto Repair on Page Street across from Amtrak in Bryan.
Every day busy.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it was.
For 6.
Yeah, we'll give it to him.
The first thing on their mind is a great place to stay. When it comes to Northwest Ohio, that's the Plaza Motel. They know the Plaza has the high-speed internet connection they need, all their favorite TV channels, and a great morning breakfast. Next time you touch down in Northwest Ohio, stop by and see why TripAdvisor travelers make the Plaza their place to recharge before they take off again.
We're back. 5:37 to play. Everybody's all right here
There you
on
go.
BMU TV. 35-14. Van Wert leads this one. They have the ball, and they're going to bleed as much clock as they possibly can.
Smith fakes, and he'll roll to his right, and he'll get to the sideline, step out of bounds. Cantrell was the young man that was injured, and now they've really had a couple of the big guys go down tonight. Hopefully, again, nobody hurt seriously on the Van Wert sideline. Smith will get about a couple of yards. It'll be third down and a long 3 now. Stops the clock with 5:22 to play in the ball game, and the Bears still down by 3 touchdowns, 35-14. And win back on the left side, Tussing on the right side of Smith, who's lined up in the pistol, and they'll hand it to Tussing, and he'll go left, and he'll run right into a couple of big Golden Bears for no gain.
19th carry on the night for Tussing.
Sinski is was the tackler on that one for the Bears. 19 for
84
Tussing
yards.
And he got basically nothing on that one. Maybe give him a yard, I guess. 4th down and 2.
His big carry is 29. That's the long.
Interesting running back, but not one that really scares you all that much. He's not a breakaway threat by any amount of money or thought right now. And just as I say that, I'll probably doom myself to watch this guy run 40-plus yards as he breaks through the right side for the first down to the 30-yard line. And invariably, that's what happens to me. He goes for what, about 11 on that one? 10 or 11 on that run?
10 on that one.
Just as I'm saying, hey, you're not that much of a runner. The hole opens up and he scoots right on through for about 11 yards and keeps possession for the Van Wert Cougars as it will be first down at 10 now with the ball on the 30-yard line. Clock is ticking at 4:22, and I'll tell you, I think Coach Redhead and his staff feel about like that moon up there right now, just a little bit fuzzy up there at this point in time. But again, you got to get this opener done, and next week it doesn't get easier. We go to Tiffin Columbian next week as Tussing breaks a couple of tackles now and drives his way down to the 20-yard line.
Pickup of 9.
So when I call him out up here, he goes for 11 on one carry and 9 on the other, and he looks up at the booth and says, how's that?
He's up to 103 now.
There you go. You want to see a couple more of them, Jim, or you're going to call me a pretty decent running back right now? So, again, not a bad little running back, but again, not somebody that you're going to really look at and say he's going to kill you every night, but a good solid fullback in that backfield. 3:28, clock is counting. They'll hand it again to Tussing, and he'll try right in.
There he goes.
Spins off a tackle, and he's going to run this one in the end zone. So he'll go 21 for that one, and after I told him that he wasn't much of a running back, he proceeded to go about 42 yards in 3 carries and cashes one in to make it 41-14. And that was just basically a missed tackle by the Bears. They came up and made the hit, but they forgot to wrap him up, and he just spun out of that tackle. And once he spun out of the tackle, there was nobody behind to make the tackle between he and the end zone. And just like that, it's 41-14 as the Bears go down by 27. And Coach Redhead, he opened everything up at South Myers, Florida, with a 1-9 season, Chris, and after that, the ship got righted and everything turned around, and he has had a very solid 10 years of football coaching, winning more than 8 a year on average.
Hey,
so maybe he's going to start this whole thing again the same way and have that early first-year problem. Extra point is good by Gardner, and the Bears now find themselves down 42-14 as they've been unable to put any points on the scoreboard here in this second half.
They haven't.
We'll take a timeout here on BMU TV.
Did you know the Bryan Water Department has provided water service to the citizens of Bryan since 1892? And today we supply an average of 1.5 million gallons of safe drinking water every day.
For more Did You Know, find us on the web or like us on Facebook.
Important and family. We understand that at Oberlin Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory. Our entire staff is like family to us. They are some of the most caring, thoughtful, and dedicated people in our industry. In fact, our newest members are part of my family. When the time comes for your family to say goodbye, remember our family, Oberlin Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, in Bryan, Sherwood, West Unity, and Hamilton.
And we're back.
Deep kick goes back to Garza at about the 10, right up the middle of the field, falls on the floor, and he falls on it at the 30. Corbin Garza kind of broke through a couple of Van Wert Cougars there at about the 20-yard line, and as he came through the two of them, the ball was bouncing in front of him, and he chased it on down. It was almost like a loose ball situation in a basketball game.
Absolutely. They dribbled too fast.
Did it, huh? Next thing you know, the good news for the Golden Bears was there's nobody else around him with a white shirt on him, and he was able to fall on it there at the 31-yard line. It will be Bears ball with 3:13 to play in this ball game.
I've been doing this since 2005, and I don't recall Van Wert playing this well against Bryan.
It has been a while, hasn't it, huh? So maybe this is the year. And, you know, it takes that first win, and Van Wert might be getting it here tonight, which will set them up. They have a very difficult schedule this year as Blues Creek gets out of the hands of one Van Wert Cougar, but runs right into the hands of another, and he'll go down back around the 17-yard line.
Wow.
But, you know, Chris, going back to that point, it really does take that first win to get that confidence going. Last year had to be a confidence deflator, I would think, for them as they lost late there in that ball game. And we'll get Chris Bryce in here as we go a little bit to update us on some finals. But right at this point in time, we're down to 2 minutes and 40 seconds to play in this game. And the Bears find themselves down by 28, 42 to 14. Clock down now to under 2.5 to play in the ball game. Creek again in the pistol. He'll look to throw. He's got some time this time. Now he's looking for an open receiver. Throws across the middle into traffic, and ball gets knocked away as it was intended for Colt Arthur, and Arthur really had all kinds of people around him. And I'll tell you what, Luce had a couple of guys wide open down the field right now, but I think he's lost his confidence just a little bit to look down the field, and he's thrown the ball. The mistake he's made most of the time tonight has been throwing the ball into coverage, and that was just another one of those times where Colt Arthur just about lost his head and his dignity there running across the middle with 4 white jerseys around him and the ball coming at him along with all 4 of those Van Wert Cougars. So Blues, as the nights go along this season, I'm sure will get a little bit better. Now he's in trouble. Steps up in the pocket, now back out of the pocket. Now he's going to roll towards the home side. He's got a lot of wide open space. Throws for a guy in the middle of the field. That's Jake Kuba, and it goes right through Kuba's hands at the 45-yard line and will fall incomplete at midfield.
Wow. He had a whole bunch of green real estate in front of him. That's something else he's going to learn, too, is when he has to tuck and run it.
Exactly. You're exactly right. It'll be 4th down and 24 now, and he had probably 20 of those 24 standing there with nobody in between him and that first down marker. But again, trying to make a play and put the ball right on Kuba's hands, went right through his hands and incomplete. So either way, they had an opportunity at a first down. But again, young guys learning on a Friday night. Welcome back to the new Golden Bears. Fair catch right around by Hardman at the 48-yard line. Hardman was looking for a flag as Kuba ran right up on top of him, but that kick was so short that it kind of came over Kuba's shoulder, and Hardman was able to field it right in front of him. And I think wisely by the officials, no flag. There was no contact, and Hardman did a nice job of pulling that ball in. So it will be now Van Wert football with 2:01 to play here in the ball game, and they will have the ball on the Golden Bears yard line, 1st and 10. Well, we're off to an interesting start, Chris. You know, when you take a look at the schedule this year, you look at this ball game, and you've got the Bears playing tonight. Next week, we've got to go to Tiffin, Columbian. The week after that, we have a trip over to Napoleon, and that's a game I've been looking forward to. We've not played Napoleon since the playoffs a couple of years ago. Napoleon, again, defeated last night by Defiance, so you kind of wonder how strong Napoleon will be this year. Talking to Lynn Grohl today, he kind of felt like Napoleon was having an off year, so that might be an interesting ball game. But next week is going to be a battle. There's just no doubt about it.
It always is when it's against Napoleon.
Yeah, it will be. It really will be, and it'll be a fun game to do. And then you got, after that one, we have Evergreen coming here on the 18th of September, followed by Swanton, who, you know what, I'll tell you, between Swanton and Delta, I know the coaches picked Wauseon this year, but I got to tell you that I think one of the two of Swanton or Delta really are the teams that are going to pull this thing out for my money this year. And so we have Evergreen and then Swanton on the 25th of September. We move into October with Wauseon game at Wauseon again, as we've gone to some second teamers now for Van Wert, and they're intent to run this clock out.
That was Calveridge.
There you go. Archbold at Bryan on the 9th of October. On the 16th, then you have Delta coming to town. On the 23rd, it's Patrick Henry that we have to travel over to Hamler this year and do a ball game.
We
at
have to go back to Liberty Center again.
And then we end the whole thing.
How does that happen?
At LC. They shifted that schedule around a little bit.
How do we
year.
play two teams we played on the road?
I don't know, but it's. I think basically it's all T's fault back there. You know that you didn't strong arm the right people in the conference this year, Teresa. You know what I mean? Something you'll have to work on that in the off season. There, how's that? Fake handoff. The quarterback will keep this one, and this should bring this ball game pretty much to a close as the run goes to the 40-yard line with
that
27 ticks.
Pierce too.
So Pierce picks up about 4 or 5. It'll set up a 4th down now at 11. And more importantly, the clock is down under 16 seconds. And the Van Wert Cougars are over celebrating on their sideline because they have pulled out a big opening night win tonight over the Golden Bears, 42-14. So the Cougars will go to 1-0. The Bears under Coach Grant Redhead will go 0-1. Cougars acting like this might have been the league championship that they won right now, but you know what? They will learn as things go on and get tougher for them that they'll take it one step at a time. But for them, I'm sure it's got to be a happy night to be able to get a victory here tonight against Bryan, 42-14. So we're going to take a break. We'll come back with some final stats. I'm going to try to sneak down onto the field and talk to the coach, I think. And we'll put a wrap on everything here from Golden Bear Stadium. Bears fall tonight in the opener, 42-14 on BMU TV. They say there is strength in numbers. In Bryan, we have always taken pride in supporting our Golden Bear student athletes in all of their sporting endeavors. The Bryan Athletic Boosters now have a chance for you to get into the game. If you're Bryan proud, it's time to become Bryan strong. Whether you were a BHS athlete, are raising a BHS athlete, or just love supporting our Bryan High School athlete, this is your chance to be part of the BHS sporting community. Talk to any board member today on how easy it is to join, or contact us at 419-636-4536.
Looking for career opportunities? They're closer than you think. Northwest State has more than 70 degree and certificate programs, so you can start on the path to a rewarding career. Or transfer your credits toward a bachelor's degree. Your future is knocking. What are you waiting for? Opportunities await at Northwest State Community College. Find out more at northweststate.edu.
Just like Bryan, Ohio is home to the ultimate football machine, Tompkinson BMW, located less than an hour away from us in Fort Wayne, Indiana, is the home of the ultimate driving machine, BMW. All teams have to rebuild, and right now Tompkinson is rebuilding their entire new car showroom to make sure all of our guests have a world-class facility to match the award-winning customer service we offer to all of our new and used car customers. Whether it's a brand new BMW, certified pre-owned, or any of the huge selection of new and used cars, trucks, and vans, we promise to give you the same dedication to a great buying experience that the Golden Bears give you every Friday night. With a very convenient location in the 1469 Auto Mall, be sure and stop by to see how easy and fun Tompkinson can make each and every purchase. Call today and speak with our great staff of certified client advisors and schedule a time to test drive any of the fine products we have to offer. The direct phone line is 260-436-9000 or shop online at tompkinsonbmw.com.
Well, that's going to do it for the Golden Bears in game number 1 as they go down to defeat by a score of 42-14 for the Van Wert Cougars. Chris Malenga and Jim Funderburg here with you, and just a tough one for the Golden Bears. The scoring went like this. It was 0-0 at the end of the first quarter, 14-14 at the half, and then it was 35-14 at the end of the third quarter, and Van Wert sneaked in a last few second touchdown to make it 42-14. Taking a look at the team's stats, first downs, I don't have accurate ones, so I'm not going to read them to you. 34 rushes for 38 yards for Bryan, 32 carries for 177 yards for Van Wert. Blues Creek was 8 for 17 for 193 yards and 2 interceptions. On the other side, it was Smith, who was 8 for 13 for 68 yards, no interceptions. The Bears ran 51 offensive plays to Van Wert's 45. Bears had 181 yards of total offense, Van Wert with 240 yards of total offense. So that's the scoring and the team statistics. Now let's take a look at the scoring summary. Van Wert opened things up early with 9:23 left, early second quarter. 9:23 left as Smith returned a Blues Creek interception for 65 yards. The point after by Gardner was good. That made it 7-0. And then Bryan got on the board to make it 7-7 as Jones caught a 81-yard touchdown reception from Creek, kicked his own extra point to make it 7-7. Rummel had a 2-yard touchdown run after a long pass to Jones again, and that went to make it 14-7, and that was all Bryan would score. Van Wert tied it up with 43 seconds left in the half. Tussing with a 2-yard touchdown run. Point after by Gardner was good. Then in the third quarter, Tussing had a 29-yard touchdown run with 10:15 remaining in the third quarter. So first drive touchdown there. A point after by Gardner was good to make it 21-14. Williams intercepted Creek with 4:14 remaining in the third quarter. Point after was good after Williams took it 26 yards to the house. That made it 28-14 Van Wert with 2:46 remaining third quarter. Hardman caught an interception from Blues Creek went 20 yards. Make it 35-14 after the PAT from Gardner. And Tussing wrapped things up with 3 minutes and 20 seconds in the game with a 21-yard touchdown return. We're going to send it down to Jim Funderburg.
Well, we invite you to join us next Friday night from Essendon.
Coach, I tell you, a tough way to get started tonight.
Be on the air at around 6:45 here on Wheels for the Battle of Route 49.
Chris, I have nothing from that. Chris, we're dead air. Chris.
Having trouble hearing Jim Funderburg down there. I got it in my headset. I don't know why Eric doesn't have it down there, but I know why.
You know, we've got some sophomores.
Is that better?
Quite a few, and, you know, that's youth.
So we're going to get better. And, it's the best team they've had in 10 years. And, it's a good football team. They're going to win some games. The biggest thing is, I want them to beat us. I don't want to beat ourselves.
Yeah. And I think that's the toughest part, because there were moments there. I think Josh Jones had a couple of nice catches on the sideline for big plays. Blues had a couple of nice throws, and then that second half, it just like it all fell apart for him.
Yeah, and when the wheels come off, it's hard to put them back on and, get their heads back, and kids get frustrated with themselves. And, we got to remember these are 15, 16, 17-year-old kids. They're not pro athletes, and they're going to make mistakes, and we got to work at practice and correct them. That's the biggest thing. Sun's going to rise tomorrow, and, the world's not going to end just because we lost a football game, but we can do better, and we will do better. That's my promise.
Well, I think, you talked a little bit about having a team that can punch people in the nose. I thought there were a lot of times tonight when they did that, especially early.
Yeah, we played physical on both sides of the ball. We just had some mental lapses, and, we had a couple arm tackles, things like that gave them big plays. Defensively, we just put them in a hole. Offensively, it's a team. We got to help out, and a lot of guys go and play on both sides. So we got to do a better job of getting in. Late in the game, you're relegated to throwing because you got to try and play catch up. And they just had our number tonight. And we weren't getting open and we weren't throwing good balls. So we'll work on it.
David Rummel, I thought, had a nice block, a nice punt block then, and able to cover that ball up. And boy, it looked like things were rolling at that time.
Yeah, special teams played well tonight. We did some good things on special teams, and they didn't hurt us. Like I said, two facets of the game played pretty well. Our defense and our special teams offensively. We just got to get more consistent on blocking up front and can't get in 2nd and 8 and, 3rd and 7s. We got to sit there and have manageable downs that we just don't have to drop back and throw. I don't have a magical formula for some of those 3rd and 20s. I wish it did.
Yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yes, sir.
But you know what? You pulled off a couple of those 3rd and 20s there tonight, too, amazingly enough. So that'll happen as things happen down the road. Does this feel a little bit like the first year down in Florida when you had that first tough year with your team?
Well, a little bit. These kids are farther along, and I think especially when we get into league play, our first 3 games are really, really tough ones. And, with a very good Van Wert team, best in 10 years, then Tiffin Columbia, and then we got Napoleon, which is a decent team. And, once we get into playing our league, I think, you'll see a vast difference, and I think these games will get us ready for that. And, we're just going to keep plugging.
Well, a lot of these kids, again, and you said it a minute ago before I let you go, a lot of these kids, this is their first Friday night under the lights, too, man.
Yes,
nobody could understand that if you haven't done it.
Oh, yeah. The first time under the lights in front of a big home crowd, they got the jitters, and I think we got those out of the way. And, like I said, the kids' effort was there. They didn't quit. They didn't fall apart. They stayed together as a team. We just got to execute better, and, that's the name of the game.
Fantastic. I'll let you go. No, it wasn't the way that you wanted it tonight, Coach, but we'll get them next week, buddy.
Yeah, we will definitely get better. That's a promise.
No problem. Grant Redhead, our guest here. I enjoyed it here tonight. The ball game was 14-14 at one time. In fact, we were up 14-7 in the second half. It all kind of slid away. I'll send it back up to the booth here on BMU TV.
All right, thank you, Jim. Good conversation with the coach. And we want to take a look at the individual stats now. The leaders for Bryan rushing, Belts had 17 carries for 57 yards. Next leading carrier was John Rittenhouse, who had 5 carries for 16 yards. A lot of that negated by the sacks for Creek. He was sacked 6 times, and that made it 38 carries or 38 yards on 34 carries. Creek, by the way, he was 8 for 17. He had 3 interceptions, and he threw for 193 yards. Taking a look at the receptions. The leading, not very many receptions at all, but 115 yards on 3 catches for Jones. Rittenhouse had 1 catch for 14 yards. Culler had 1 catch for 16 yards. Kuba a catch for 7 yards. And that's basically all she wrote there. Taking a look over at Van Wert, switching screens. Van Wert rushing, Tussing had 124 yards on 22 carries, Smith with 51 yards on 6 carries. And then just some garbage time, Stoller, Kolovich, and Pierce. That made 177 total rushing yards. Passing, Smith, he was 8 for 13. He had no interceptions for 68 yards. Receiving, Gutierrez, 29 yards on 2 catches. Hardman, 17 yards on 3 catches. Brown, 1 catch for 19 yards. And there you have it. Those are the statistics. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back, check some final scores, and wrap up after this on BMU TV.
May not actually fix what's wrong with your vehicle. So instead of throwing money at the problem, guessing what parts to buy, and getting more and more frustrated by the day, bring your family vehicle to the experts at Whelan's Auto Repair in Bryan.
We properly diagnose the problem and fix it the right way to get your family vehicle safely and securely back on the road. And we stand behind our work because your satisfaction is always guaranteed.
Whelan's Auto Repair on Page Street across from Amtrak in Bryan.
Every day, busy young executives travel the world in search of that next big deal. And when their plane lands, the first thing on their mind is a great place to stay. When it comes to Northwest Ohio, that's the Plaza Motel. They know the Plaza has the high-speed internet connection they need, all their favorite TV channels, and a great morning breakfast. Next time you touch down in Northwest Ohio, stop by and see why TripAdvisor travelers make the Plaza their place to recharge before they take off again.
Did you know the Bryan Water Department has provided water service to the citizens of Bryan since 1892? And today we supply an average of 1.5 million gallons of safe drinking water every day.
For more Did You Know, find us on the web or like us on Facebook.
It's been said a million times, there's nothing in the world more important than family. We understand that at Oberlin Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory. Our entire staff is like family to us. They are some of the most caring, thoughtful, and dedicated people in our industry. In fact, our newest members are part of my family. When the time comes for your family to say goodbye, remember our family, Oberlin Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory in Bryan, Sherwood, West Unity, and Hamilton.
They say there is strength in numbers. In Bryan, we have always...
Back out at Golden Bears Stadium, 42-14. Your final score tonight is the Cougars of Van Wert defeat Bryan Golden Bears and Coach Grant Redhead's first game here at Bryan. We're going to send it down to our member in the bus, Chris Bryce. He's got some final scores for us. Chris, what do you got?
Over Toledo Christian 56-12. It was Swanton over Ottawa Hills 44-14. Wauseon beat Fairview 42-7. Defiance over Napoleon 20-14. It was Clyde over Tiffin Columbia 15-8. And Lake over Montpelier 47-0. And in a fourth quarter score, we have Northwood getting beat by Ayersville 27-0. That was with 11 minutes left. And also we have a fourth quarter score with Otsego beating Evergreen 23-20. And a fourth quarter score of Archibald over Hicksville 27-14. That's all the scores I got right now. And of course it was Van Wert over Bryan 42-14. Back up to you, Chris.
All right, thank you, sir. Good work as always. Tonight's game being brought to you by Bryan Athletic Boosters. Always backing our athletes. Good luck, Bears, all season long. By Bryan Ford Lincoln. We're just down the road from High Prices. By Bryan Municipal Utilities, your local cable and high-speed internet provider. By Genesis Healthcare Bryan Center. We are your friends. We are your family. We are your neighbors. By Northwest State Community College, helping you take that next step to a new job or career. By Oberlin Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, all types of service for all types of people. By the Plaza Motel, your home away from home, and don't forget to like us on Facebook. By Tompkinson BMW, home of the ultimate driving machine, and Whelan's Automotive, dealership quality at aftermarket prices. Want to thank all of our crew tonight, our director Eric Herman, production assistant Chris Bryce, our cameras Char Miller, Aaron Gilbert, and Ken Reeker. I want to thank Mook Roofer and Teresa Kuzmal from the BHS Athletic Department, and for my broadcast partner in crime, Jim Funderburg, I'm Chris Malenga. You can order your DVD of this or any other event by calling 419-633-6137. You can also visit us on the web at bmutv.com and bryansports.com. This has been a production of BMU TV. Have a great night, everybody.